Welcome back. You're still watching Newsfeed PM, the late edition. So after intense succession battles, which lasted for decades, the Bapedi tribe in Limpopo are now under the leadership of Queen Manyaku Thulare, whose position as the regent was endorsed by the Limpopo High Court. The provincial government rather says the Bapedi Kingship, under the guidance of acting Queen Thulare, is poised to play an important role in uniting its people and driving development in the kingdom, as well as beyond. We are joined in studio by Prince Mampuru Sekwati from the Sekhukhune Royal House. Prince, good evening to you and thank you so much for joining us.
Evening to you, Naledi, and to your viewers.
I think let's firstly get the general reaction to the Queen's victory in court.
Look, the victory was long overdue. It didn't come easy. As you are aware, there's this general pandemic that is developing in the province, where when a woman has to ascend to a leadership position, there's resistance. Male figures will even go and hire a donkey just to put in that position of power, just to block a woman from ascending to a position of power. We faced that situation in our kingdom after the demise of our late king, our brother, King Thulare Victor, where certain members of the royal family, opposed the Queen from acting in that position. And mainly for nothing else, just because of her gender. We've seen it before. It has happened back in the days in the kingdom. And they seemed to want to repeat history, but unfortunately, they couldn't succeed. They won't succeed. It could succeed back in the days when we were not there, or rather were still young. The same nonsense that they tried in the kingdom is what they are trying in the Mojaji Royal House. The two situations are merely the same, where you are finding men who can, lack of a better word, say backward. They are still living in the past. They would do anything to oppose a woman from ascending to a position of power.
Why do you think that is? And it's interesting because now we're speaking about the Bapedi Queen, but you mentioned Mojaji as well, and there's that question around what is happening there, and you talk about men simply not allowing for women to take that position. In the case of Mojaji, for instance, it's commonly known the world over even that position has primarily been there for women. Why do you think we're seeing this wave right now?
It's men who are threatened by women. It's men who cannot accept that women can lead. But the unfortunate part about that situation is that these men often use other women to bring these women who are in power down. And they fall for it, which is the case in our kingdom. The people who have been opposing the Queen are men. If you've noticed, there's one fellow I saw here in your studio. Who's this fellow? He was in Contralesam, and I think he was fired for taking 300,000 during Christmas Day.
Okay, I'll check that out. I'll check that out. Okay.
You see, those it's men who are pushing, and they are finding every excuse because they are threatened. They just can't accept that a woman can lead them. And it's rather unfortunate, especially in these modern times, in a developing world, especially in a province that is led by a woman premier. It's rather still shocking. Yeah.
I want to hear your view on, I suppose, what you envision, though, for the queenship of Queen Thulare, what it is that she brings to the Bapedi nation.
Look, ever since the court has pronounced the decision to have her on the throne, she's been hard at work. We've been hard at work ever since the 17th of December till to date. One of her key priorities is, the kingdom has pronounced before on the issue of the mineral wealth of our kingdom. One of the things being that we are opposed to the minerals of Sekhukhune land, leaving Sekhukhune land raw. And, the citizens of Sekhukhune being as poor as they are, and citizens of other countries who do not have this mineral wealth being rich from our minerals. So one of her her key priorities that she gave to the leadership and the advisors surrounding her is, she says to us, I need you to make sure that from the minerals that are coming out of Sekhukhune land, we want a situation where you are going to manufacture fuel cell engines in the kingdom. As you are aware, the world is moving away from oil and going into green energy. And with platinum, you create fuel cell engines and which operate on hydrogen. And that's one of the things that we're focusing on, to say, we're about to go into a battlefield with the mining houses. I think we're meeting them in 2 weeks' time to say, guys, commit. It's either you're committing or we're taking it by force. You've been taking the minerals for too long. You've been, because they've been, remember, the mining houses have been capitalizing on this fight. As people are fighting, they are digging the ground and they are taking everything. One of the issues as well is that she's focused, the Queen is focused on developing a smart city. Besides a smart city as well, she gave strict instructions for human capital development, where she says, we want a situation. Sekhukhune from back in the days has been known to producing intellectuals. We sort of backtracked a bit, and we want to find ourselves in that position. In fact, Limpopo as a whole is known from producing intellectuals. I can give you examples. The governor of the Reserve Bank, that's Limpopo. The Auditor General South Africa, that's Limpopo. So we are known to producing intellectuals as a province. So now we want to. She gave strict instructions to say, I want you guys to work on human capital development. I want you guys to use the minerals that are on this land and to develop skills, and mainly women, because she wants women to be in the forefront of the mining sector in the kingdom.
What are the elements of the smart city that we're looking at building?
So I'm sure you are aware, with the mineral wealth that we have. You go to Sekhukhune now, you will never point that there are minerals. You can't. So one of the things is, she said to us, put together in the smart city, I want to see an educational hub. Rather, she called it an educational park. One of the processes that we started engaging with the Tshwane University of Technology, although there are issues here and there that we are resolving. But we are working on bringing other educational institutions into that park, the educational park. There are issues of, rather an issue of putting up industries within that smart city as well. Issues of, what's this thing, the residential areas. I'm sure you know Sekhukhune has got what you call the Warp Dam. We are looking at putting up an estate around that area, an urban estate. So, we're looking at urbanizing the area. Despite all the, shenanigans that are pushed by, there's other elements with ambitions. We're hard at work.
Okay, and we look forward to seeing the progression on those projects, and we'll be coming to NOC to get an update. I want to ask about this, though, because obviously this is quite a pivotal moment for the Bapedi nation. And then, of course, there's the concerns around those that come to celebrate her position. And I believe Umkhonto Wesizwe president might have upset the Bapedi royal kingdom. I see you laughing. What happened there?
I was hoping you would not ask that, but let me deal with the MK issue. MK approached the kingdom to say President Zuma wants to visit the Queen. The unfortunate part was their organizing, because the kingdom was called by many people, from their office. So there wasn't really a center that was holding. I personally picked up the phone and called the SG of MK, Floyd. I say, Floyd, I'm hearing that the former president wants to visit the kingdom to come and see the Queen. He says to me, look, I last heard the president saying he wants to come, but I wasn't aware that he has concluded that he wants to come. I said, no, but there's a date that they say he wants to come on the 5th. As he said, no, I'm not aware. I said,
that's the 5th of January?
Yes. I said, okay, SG, if you confirm it, please give me a call, or please give the Prime Minister a call. That didn't happen. The call still happened. There was a request. We said to them, guys, look, can the former president come at 10 o'clock? Because the Queen has got other arrangements. They said to us, the former president has traveled to Ghana. They're asking for 3 o'clock. We said, we can accommodate you for 3 o'clock, but how much time do you need? They said an hour. We said, okay, it's fine, we'll accommodate you. 3 to 4 o'clock. 3 o'clock, we are ready. Royal family is ready. No show. 3:30, no show. 4 o'clock, no show. 4:30, no show. The Queen had to travel. There was no way that the Queen, we are receiving pressure from the security personnel of the Queen to put her on the road, state protocol and all of those things. 4:30, we had to leave. We had no choice, An embarrassing thing then happens. Let's say about 6 o'clock, our convoys are all leaving, We literally, our convoys passed each other somewhere. Where's this? Appel Cross. The former president is going one direction, the Queen is going one direction. For us, it's really a respect issue, where I'm told he apologized by the people who were there. But for us, it's an issue of, okay, guys, was it, courtesy? Yeah. Can't you,
So the convoys were not stopped?
How do you stop a convoy? We are both convoys are guarded by police. All we can do is wave at each other and say, bye, go see the kingdom, and and we proceed.
Okay.
And I must state it, it's not that we have a problem with former President Zuma. We do not.
What is the message that you take, though, from that being late to come and honor the Queen?
For me, I think it's just a matter of organizing within MK.
Okay.
I think that they just have that one problem, because we've had issues where the president visits, I'm talking the current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, visits the kingdom. We don't go through, such situations. We struggled getting just a mere letter to confirm that the former president is coming to the kingdom. And, but it's an organizing issue.
Okay.
For a whole SG of a party not to be aware that a president of his organization is visiting the kingdom, it says something.
Okay. All right. I want to move on, because you talked about Sekhukhune and, the wealth of natural resources that's there. And I immediately think it's such a central discussion right now in the country with the situation unfolding in Stilfontein. Is there, a challenge that your community and area is facing around illegal mining? And how are you tackling it?
The Queen has instructed us ever since, the escape of prisoners in Mozambique. We thought about it and we wanted to mitigate against it because I'm sure you are aware that Sekhukhune is hard hit by illegal mining. And after that prison break, we knew very well that in fact we are a target. The people who might be coming from that side might find themselves in Sekhukhune and especially in the illegal mining activities. So we've been engaging with the SAPS, the National Intervention Unit. I think we're also meeting them again this Friday to try and mitigate against this issue because we can't be reactive where when we hear that illegal miners are trapped underneath, that's when we then react. We need to find a situation where we plan around the situation now, and if there are illegal mining activities taking place in the kingdom currently, how do we close it down? But we are aware of certain operations that are taking place. I mean, you are aware that in Sekhukhune there's been a deployment of the army in the past few months tackling the issue of illegal mining, of which we believe that it yielded no results because illegal mining still continues. So we are meeting with the leadership from the SAPS responsible for illegal mining sometime this week, and we're definitely going to come up with a strategy and implement.
Yeah, and that's going to be important because there are the lessons learned on what we've just seen coming out of the Northwest Province, right? On when we say that we are calling SAPS to implement, what does that need to look like?
Look, the one thing that we want to do is we want to lead our own process in terms of implementing whatever measures that are taking place. We want to be in the center as the kingdom, and we need to coordinate whatever operation or whatever system that we're going to put in place. You know, with Sekhukhune, then rather it's much different from what you are seeing in the Northwest. Because if you were to look at illegal mining operations, if you were to look at them with a very close eye, mostly are locals. And
in Sekhukhune.
And you need to treat that situation differently from, what you...
Well, criminality is criminality.
Of course, of course. Criminality is criminality. But at the same time, hence I'm saying we need to find a way. If it means that we need to sit down with DMRE and find a way in which we can find a way to formalize small-scale mining to include members of the communities to be empowered, so be it, so as to avoid, these things that we are seeing. And I mean, if really we put such measures and there are still issues of illegal mining taking place, then it means we need to meet toe-to-toe. Okay. If it means we need to fight with criminals on the street, we're capable of doing that really as a kingdom.
Very interesting, and I'm keen to hear, just the developments around how you deal with illegal mining in the kingdom, where you say that in Sekhukhune, for the most part, those miners are locals. And so what does that request then for the formalization and regulating, my English ran away there, of artisanal mining? But we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it. Prince Mampuru Sekwati there of the Sekhukhune Royal House, speaking to us on Newsfeed PM.